Hey everyone, how y'all doing today? I just wanted to get on here and make a video in light of everything that's been taking place within the last 24 to 48 hours regarding the school shooting, actually a church shooting in Minneapolis, Minnesota at the Catholic church there. And my husband and I were talking about this because we went to a Catholic school for the first, I went for 8 years, he went for 7 years, and it was a very tight-knit group. Some of the best memories that I have about school took place at St. Mary's School in East Moline, Illinois. When I think about all of this, it just transports me back to that place, that space, and that nostalgic feeling of being in a safe, secure environment. It was just really a special time. Great memories. And some of those friends my husband and I have been able to stay in touch with over the years via Facebook. And so if you're watching this video, I just want to say hi to y'all and miss you, and maybe we can have a reunion of some kind at some point. I think it would be wonderful. But getting back to all of this, I think it's important that we recognize this is spiritual in nature, that this is a spiritual war, that this is demonic and evil. I'm very passionate, as I always say, about spiritual warfare, and that we understand the times that we're living in. So there's a question about this person's mental state in all of this, and the enemy will use mental illness as a form to carry out his agenda. Now, one might suggest that he was demonically possessed. As Christians, we can be demonically oppressed, but we can't be possessed. So I don't know what his situation was specifically, but let me give you this example of something that happened to me when I went to a doctor's appointment. I think it's important to point out first also that people that have mental health issues, they're not all dangerous people, y'all. I have anxiety, panic disorder. We don't want to put a stigma out there on people that have mental health issues that we're all dangerous people, because we're not. So I have to mention that in my personal life at the time, I was struggling with wondering if the Lord was disappointed with me. I know better now. I know that God is never disappointed in us, but that was a stronghold for me. And I'm going to show you how the enemy works through a stronghold. So I walk into the office and there's one person ahead of me, and I give them, plenty of space. I like to respect people's privacy. And so as she was checking in, I could tell that something was going on. I don't know if she was upset at the receptionist. She kept turning around and looking at me. And when she looked at me, it was just like her eyes were they looked angry. Like I had done something, and I know I hadn't done anything because I'm like way back here, way back here. But it continued as she was checking in, and it just kind of pierced me like, oh my gosh, what's going on with this lady? It just didn't sit right in my spirit. I just knew something was wrong. So she went to the waiting room and sat down, and I checked in. And my daughter came along with me because we were going to have lunch afterwards. Small waiting room. One way in, one way out. This lady started manifesting. Something was going on with her, and I definitely believe it was demonically driven, because what she said to me was exactly what was going on in my life at the time, and there's no way she could have known that. So I was struggling with what I thought was disappointment. My stronghold was disappointment. I was thinking that God was disappointed with something I either did or didn't do. I can't remember specifically. But I know now that he's not disappointed with us, y'all. He loves us. And so the enemy used her to come at me. And she said to me, looked right at me and said, God is disappointed in you. And then she went on to point to the other people that were in there and said, and he's disappointed in you too. The whole experience of being in that room it just got really dark and really scary. And my heart was just going like crazy, and my daughter and I are side-eyeing each other, and she knows what's happening. She understands about all of this stuff. And I'm just thinking, how do I get out of here? One way in, one way out, like I said. My heart rate's going up just thinking about it. I'm turning red. Okay, so she was called back, thankfully, to the doctor's office. And they're arguing in there. And I'm like, wow, this is not a good situation to be in. She went out after that to check out. He got very angry with her. And so she's checking out, and then it's my time to check out. And so I was just peeking around the corner, and I'm like, oh, there she is. And so I backed off. Because the way this office is set up, it's just like you can go in a circle, okay? And so I'm like, ooh, let me back off. So I backed off. And she came at me. She came at me physically, like she started coming towards me. She was going to chase me. And I was just like, what's happening? So I started not running, but I hustled back because I was going to get my daughter and I was just going to leave. And so the receptionist, I can promise you she never leaves that area. She's there all the time. She got up, called this woman by name a couple different times and told her to get back there. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, what do I do? What do I do? And so she left, and I was just like, oh my gosh. And the lady apologized. I'm so sorry, Miss Carolee. Da, da, da. And then my appointment was over. I leave. She's in the parking lot, and my car is very close to where she's at, and she's looking in my direction. And I'm like, okay. I really didn't know what to do. I said, you know what, Faith? We're going to hang here just for a couple minutes, okay? And so then she went to her car, and then we went to our car, and we left. So, yes, I believe that the enemy was definitely using that woman to come at me. I do believe she was demonically possessed. It could be oppression. I don't know if this woman is saved or not, but he was definitely using her condition to send a message to me, because at the time I was doing something that was kind of coming against the enemy, and he was trying to scare me. He's trying to attack me, and he felt threatened. He felt threatened by what I was doing in my life at the time. So that is an example of how the enemy will use a stronghold to come against a person or people. I had another experience, which I'll do a separate video, of another encounter literally with a demon manifest right in front of me as I'm talking to somebody. You need to know that the enemy is working in this way through people and situations. We need to be educated on spiritual warfare. Our churches need to step up and teach this stuff. I was 37 years old when I learned this stuff, okay? I had no idea. He was using so much against me. Fear, anxiety, depression, you name it. It was all consuming me. Just praying for this situation, for all the families involved, and it's just a horrific thing. But we really, as churches and Christians, we need to step up and educate, pray about what it is that God wants us to share with other people. All right, y'all, stay in the Word. There's so much confusion in the world. If you stay in here, you're not going to be confused. You're going to know. This is your guidebook. Pastor Charles Stanley said, I always remember, this is your guidebook. If you're in here and you're doing what it says, you're not going to be led astray. So, okay, y'all, take care, and we'll see you later.